In a world where many young men face a struggle with identity, anger, and uncertainty, Stoicism offers timeless wisdom. It's not just about being a man, it's about becoming the best version of yourself, embracing purpose, responsibility, and the journey toward self-mastery. Just as young men today are grappling with challenges, so too did those in ancient times. The lessons Stoicism provides are not only for their time, but for all of humanity, especially for those who seek guidance on how to live well, to be strong in both mind and body, and to build a life of meaning. This is a path toward true greatness, and the Stoics have a lot to teach us about it. The beginning of the journey, purpose and self-discipline. One of the first and most profound lessons I encountered in Stoic philosophy came from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, specifically Book 5. It struck me like a thunderbolt, the realization that when life gets hard, we must not shrink from our duties but rise to them. In this book, Marcus describes a moment many of us have encountered, especially as young men. He writes about waking up in the morning and battling the temptation to stay under the warm covers, to give in to comfort. Yet he reminds himself that he was not created to lie in bed, but to act. At dawn, he tells himself, "I have to go to work as a human being. Is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" This is where Stoicism cuts to the heart of the matter, the conflict between the lower self and the higher self. The lower self is the part of us that craves instant gratification, the one that would rather stay in bed or indulge in distractions, be it eating unhealthy food or watching hours of television. The higher self, however, is driven by purpose, discipline, and the understanding that there is meaning to our actions. It pushes us to engage with life, to fulfill our obligations, to be of service to the world, and to realize our full potential. Marcus Aurelius had this same internal debate, and if the most powerful man in the world can face such challenges, it becomes clear that this battle is universal. Every person, particularly young men, will face moments of hesitation, self-doubt, or inertia. But the Stoics teach us that it is through self-discipline and willpower that we transcend this struggle. To be a man means to fight to become the person philosophy has prepared us to be. The Stoics urge us to rise to the challenge no matter how tough life gets, to fulfill our purpose and contribute meaningfully to the world. The sooner a young man learns this lesson, the better. Life demands something from us, and the Stoics say we must meet those demands head-on. There is meaning in work, in self-improvement, and in challenging ourselves to become better people. And it is this commitment to work and growth that is the foundation of a Stoic approach to life. Stoic masculinity and physical discipline. In modern times, the concept of masculinity is often seen through narrow physical lenses, muscles, aggression, and a tendency towards Stoic silence. But Stoicism presents a more holistic vision of masculinity, one that integrates both mental and physical discipline. To be a man, according to the Stoics, is not just about strength, but about how that strength is applied to serving others, living with virtue, and cultivating self-mastery. One of the key Stoic texts on this topic comes from Seneca, who writes about how we must treat the body rigorously so that it serves the mind, not the other way around. The Stoics believed in the importance of physical discipline, not for vanity, but to prepare the body to be a functional and capable vessel for the mind and soul. Marcus Aurelius himself was not just a philosopher, but a man of action. He led armies and governed an empire, and through it all he understood the importance of maintaining both physical strength and mental clarity. For the Stoics, being physically active was not about sculpting a body for admiration, but about ensuring that the body could endure hardship, could perform when needed, and could stand resilient in the face of adversity. The phrase mens sana in corpore sano, a sound mind in a sound body, was central to Stoic philosophy. The Stoic approach to physical fitness emphasizes moderation, functional strength, and discipline over superficial vanity. The lessons of Stoic discipline are evident even in their lifestyle choices. They were active, running, boxing, wrestling, even engaging in chariot racing. Seneca, for example, took annual cold plunges, pushing his body beyond its comfort zone to strengthen his willpower and resolve. This is a key lesson. The physical challenges we face reflect the mental challenges we must also overcome. When we push ourselves physically, we learn that the body will often tell us that it is too tired or too weak. But the Stoic mind knows that there is always more to give, always another gear to shift into. Moreover, the Stoics also advocated for a life of moderation, balancing physical activity with mental and emotional fortitude. A man who spends hours at the gym, sculpting his body purely for the sake of vanity, is not living according to Stoic principles. The Stoics believed in the utility of fitness, being strong not for applause or recognition, but for practical, functional use. They valued strength in the face of adversity, mental toughness, and the ability to serve others. This is the Stoic view of masculinity, a life built on strength, resilience, and the ability to endure hardship, not for the sake of appearance, but for the sake of purpose. Controlling anger and mastering emotions. One of the most important elements of Stoic masculinity is the control of emotions, particularly anger. Society often portrays anger as a form of strength, especially in the context of masculinity. We see athletes throwing helmets on the sidelines, men getting into bar fights or getting enraged over insults. We associate these outbursts with strength and toughness. Yet, the Stoics taught a very different lesson. True strength is not in losing control of oneself, but in mastering one's emotions. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius reflects on the destructive nature of anger. For him, losing your temper is not only irrational, but unmanly. To act out of anger is to lose control of yourself, to be ruled by an emotion rather than your reason. He wrote that the greatest empire is command of oneself. True masculinity, in the Stoic sense, is about being the master of your emotions, not letting them control you. It's about being calm, centered, and not being swayed by every little provocation. Seneca wrote extensively about the perils of anger. He called it the most absurd emotion, one that causes harm to both the person who is angry and those around them. Anger clouds judgment, destroys relationships, and can even lead to physical violence. The Stoic ideal is to remain composed and calm in the face of adversity or insult. The Stoics didn't suggest suppressing emotions, but instead managing them, processing them thoughtfully, and responding in ways that align with reason. One story that stands out is that of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. He tells of an instance when a man insulted a Stoic by knocking his cup out of his hand. The man expected the Stoic to react with rage, but the Stoic simply walked away. Later, when the man apologized, the Stoic responded with complete indifference, saying that he had already forgiven him because he had mastered his emotions. This story highlights a key Stoic teaching, that true strength lies in restraint. By controlling anger and practicing emotional discipline, we avoid acting rashly, doing things we may later regret, and making situations worse. A man who is in control of his emotions is a man who has command over his own life, his actions, and his future. The role of virtue and contribution to the common good. A key part of Stoic masculinity lies in living with virtue, not just for oneself, but for the good of others. One of Marcus Aurelius's most important reflections in Meditations is that the fruit of life lies in good character and in contributing positively to the common good. To be a man in the Stoic sense means to be virtuous, to act in accordance with reason, to make choices that reflect justice, wisdom, courage, and temperance. Stoicism is not a philosophy of self-absorption or self-interest. It teaches us to be involved in society, to care for others, and to contribute to the world around us. Marcus Aurelius was not just an emperor. He was a philosopher king who believed in the interconnectedness of all people. He understood that our lives are not just our own. They are part of a larger web of relationships, responsibilities, and duties. In this light, Stoic masculinity is not defined by selfishness or isolation, but by the willingness to take on responsibilities, whether in family life, work, or the greater society. The Stoics encouraged participation in public life, politics, and the military because they believed that men should contribute to the well-being of others. In this context, masculinity is not just about personal achievement, but about service, about helping others, and about leaving a positive legacy. Humility and the acceptance of imperfection. Finally, Stoicism teaches the value of humility. It is easy for men to become conceited or prideful, especially when they achieve success. But the Stoics knew that humility was key to personal growth and to becoming a truly great individual. Zeno, one of the founders of Stoicism, warned that conceit is the greatest enemy of learning, and that to truly grow as a person, we must accept that we are imperfect, that we will make mistakes, and that we can always improve. Marcus Aurelius exemplified this humility in his writings. He often reminded himself that he was just one small part of the vast universe, and that his life would eventually be forgotten. This sense of impermanence helped him remain grounded, reminding him that no achievement or accolade would last forever, and that the pursuit of virtue was the only true measure of success. Conclusion: the path to becoming a man. Stoicism teaches that the journey to becoming a man is not about conforming to societal expectations or fitting into a predefined mold. It's about discovering your purpose, developing discipline in both mind and body, mastering your emotions, and contributing positively to society. The lessons of the Stoics are timeless and offer young men today a guide to navigating the challenges of life.